Why have we totally missed the point? Why has the movie Misses ruffled so many feathers? Why do we feel our sentiments, our culture is under attack? Over the last few weeks, I have seen so many ridiculous comments about its feminist agenda that today I am going to answer simply and objectively. Some of these questions. Hi, I'm Sonia Anand. I'm a psychologist and I would like to talk about Mrs. Movie in this video. I request you all to please watch the video till the end to get all the answers. The very first one is, what's the big deal about cooking for your family? Well, my answer is, the big deal is choice. Cooking out of love is beautiful. Cooking out of expectation is oppression. If it's truly no big deal, why isn't it expected from men? The issue isn't cooking, it's the entitlement that a woman's time, labor, and identity should revolve around feeding others. Second, but I have seen my mom do this for years and she never complained. My answer to that is silence isn't consent. Generations of women normalized sacrifice because they had no choice. Just because your mom never complained doesn't mean she never felt tired, unappreciated, or trapped. Ask her, did she cook out of joy or duty? And if it's a no big deal, why didn't your dad? Third, but what about men? We work hard to earn, and this is a lot of financial responsibility. Well, my answer to that, work comes with salary, promotions, and respect. Housework, unpaid, unseen, expected. Men's labor is recognized, women's is taken for granted. Plus, many women work and run homes while men rarely do both. If it's about hard work, why not share both breadwinning and homemaking equally? Fourth, it's so comfy being at home. Do you know how much stress we face in office? My answer to that, stress isn't a competition. The office has deadlines, but home has never-ending, unpaid, invisible labor. No sick days, no promotions, no retirement. Women handle mental load, emotional labor, caregiving, and still here, what did you do all day? If home is so comfy, why don't more men switch roles? Fifth, but now everyone has maids and domestic help. My answer to that, maids help with chores, but who manages them? Who tracks groceries, plan meals, handles kids' schedules, remembers birthdays, and does the invisible work? Outsourcing labor isn't the same as sharing responsibility. Sixth, but women get alimony. My answer to that, alimony isn't a reward. It's compensation for years of unpaid labor, raising kids, managing homes, sacrificing careers. Many women put their own growth on hold to support a man's success. If marriage was truly equal, women wouldn't need alimony. So if you see alimony as unfair, why don't you also see how women's sacrifices supported men financial success in the first place? Seventh, are these modern women feminist hate men? My answer to this is, feminism is not about hating men. It's about hating inequity. Wanting fairness isn't hate. Asking men to share responsibility isn't hate. If equity feels like an attack, maybe it's because patriarchy taught you that privilege is normal. The goal isn't to bring men down, it is to lift everyone up. As a psychologist and a therapist, I did like the movie very much, but there are a few points that I did not like. Well, let me tell you what I liked about the movie. The good part of the movie is that whatever has been shown in this movie is very real. This actually happens in real life. I've seen myself in my neighborhood, and I'm not talking about any illiterate or rural area people. I'm talking about well educated or middle class people, one of those families where all are doctors or maybe some professionals. And also, as a therapist, I have seen such cases coming to me. Many women clients come and tell me their stories like endless work in kitchen, no appreciation, meals not at home not helping, career goals of wife or lady getting sacrificed, husband's family getting teamed up, etc. So, this movie has beautifully captured one of the problems in our society. But there are a few things which I did not like in the movie and would really like to suggest to all women out there listening to me. So, the thing I did not like in this movie is that the way she dealt with the problem. Now, in this movie, Richa is shown being a very good daughter in law who is listening obediently to her husband and her in laws. But every day, she is absorbing their bad behavior. She is observing disregard, comments, taunts, and whatnot. Slowly, anger is being built up inside her. Then one day, all of a sudden, like a sleeping volcano, when a lot of guests are coming to meet his father in law, all those people who genuinely had not bothered Richa in any way, she just fills up the drainage or pipe water, whatever it was, in glasses and serves them. And then just leaves home and takes a divorce. This is something I won't approve of. It's just like your friends are teasing you, making fun of you. You're all smiling at the beginning and quietly listening to them without showing any dislike. And all of a sudden, you punch them on their faces and run away from there. So, this is not right. See, I do understand that every single individual is very different and very unique. There are some people, some women who have been brought up in a way or have personalities naturally that they are not able to speak up for themselves, that they find it very difficult to stand up for themselves. Some people I have seen are naturally very low on self-esteem and don't have the courage to voice their opinions. I won't say it's completely their fault, but one should not judge because in world we have all kinds of people. But if an individual has these characteristics, they can try to work on themselves and learn to voice their opinions, which is very important. So in this movie, what Richa should have done before taking the divorce, the first thing one should have done, don't let anger get piled up inside you. The day something troubles you, try talking about it. Say you don't like it. The purpose here is to not get a solution. Many a times the other person would feel offensive and there would be no solution at all. But at least you will vent out your emotion, which is very important thing to do. And remember, when you vent out your emotion, don't become disrespectful. Tell about your feelings, but in a very respectful manner. Second thing that one must do is that you are not able to tolerate, don't compromise. Stand up for yourself and just say very straightforwardly that I'm just not able to do it. I can't handle this much pressure. It's not within my capability. Again, stand up for yourself and be very clear and firm that you want to do job. You want to pursue your teaching job. Most likely, this will lead to fight. But to win a fight, you need to sometimes fight these small battles. Just stay strong from inside, speak up, but always remember while you're doing all this, never become disrespectful. Always maintain that respect. Gradually, over a period of time, they will also get to know that forcing things on you is not going to work. Ultimately, they will also start adjusting with you. Because obviously, even they don't want divorce to happen. But yes, even after doing all this, if they don't change at all and in fact become much more toxic towards you, in that case, divorce is a better option. So in this movie, the problem they have shown is beautifully captured. But the solution that they have shown, I'm a little disappointed. Mrs. Few films in recent memory has angered me the way movie Mrs. has. Which is not to say I didn't like it, it is rather a beautiful film, but in a profoundly disturbing way. Mrs. is about a young woman played by Sania Malhotra in what is a spellbindingly authentic performance, being married into a joint family. Her husband and father-in-law are both particular how the food must be served and prepared. Both want fresh fulkas, not rotis, they emphasize. Chutney, according to father-in-law, who doesn't even lift a finger otherwise, must be made on a silbatta, not in a mixie. No matter it takes thrice the time.
जी ये चटनी सिलबट्टे की तो नहीं है?
नहीं पापा जी, मिक्सी की।
सिलबट्टे पर पीसने से हाथ में जलन होने लगती है ना। कोई बात नहीं, तो आप अकेले क्या क्या संभालोगे? आपकी मम्मी को आदत है।
Biryani must be cooked in its own dum, not in pressure cooker. All these would be perfect if they were dining at the dump bucket, but not when it is task of poor Sania to feed them day and night, without any help. There is a
पता नहीं रखा। चार सी फीलिंग दे बोलती।
ये कुकर में पकाया है?
जी।
तो बेटा ये पुलाव और बिरयानी नहीं। आपको बिरयानी का मतलब है धीमे धीमे आंच में पकाना, धीरे धीरे।
जी। ये पता नहीं रखा। चार सी फीलिंग दे बोलती।
ये कुकर में पकाया है?
जी।
lovely scene where the men folk decide to make mutton for dinner. Only the wife has to chop all the onions, make the ginger garlic paste, and clean and marinate the mutton. And then call upon their lordships to do a quick stir on the fire. Mrs. is remarkable in the fact that the male protagonists are not outwardly villainous, yet one despises them and their beliefs in a way like never before. The sad reality of Mrs. is that it is the real story of thousands of women simply married off into families where they have no voice. On the contrary, they are snubbed out to nothingness, like a slowly dying cigarette in the corner of an ashtray. Sania Malhotra is the actress we don't deserve. She is brilliant, playing an ebullient, chirpy young girl trapped in a hopeless marriage with an effortless, load-bearing ease.
भाभी जी 9 ग्लास नींबू पानी चाहिए, 2 स्वीट एंड सॉल्टेड, 3 स्वीट, 2 सॉल्टेड, 4 बिना ऐसे हरी मिर्ची।
All she sees as a newly married woman are peas are to be shelled, a million of cups of tea to be made, endless utensils to be watched, a kitchen to be kept spotlessly clean, and a husband with a great job, a catch as it were, but someone who is both lousy in bed and off it. The kitchen and its all endless cooking and frying is used as a beautiful metaphor for misogyny and the patriarchy. No one is overtly evil, yet they are repulsive in the most horrible way. The beauty of Mrs. is that it never once exaggerates. It shows things how they actually are in certain kind of middle class Indian household. It is staggering that the absolute ordinariness of Mrs. also makes it so incredibly and fiercely powerful. The world loves a silent woman until she speaks. A woman is most loved when she is silent, when she nods instead of disagrees, when she smiles instead of speaks, when she accepts instead of questions. But the moment she finds her voice, everything changes. Suddenly she is arrogant for challenging what isn't right. She is too much for refusing to shrink. She is selfish for setting boundaries. She is changed the moment she stops apologizing. Because a quiet woman is easy to control. A quiet woman makes life easier for everyone except herself. That's why since birth we have been told, lower your voice, don't argue, don't question too much. Not because silence is a virtue, but because woman's voice is dangerous. Because a woman who speaks can't be ignored. She disrupts the system. She shifts the balance of power. And that is what the world fears most. So tell me, when did silence become the price of being accepted? And if the world only loves women when they were quiet, maybe it's time we stop seeking their love. Because a woman's voice was never meant to be comfortable at her expense. Women thrive without men. They flourish, evolve, and grow into the most beautiful versions of themselves when men aren't around. It isn't men inherently that are the problem here. It's the roles women are forced to play in a household where men exist. In fact, it is also the roles other men are raised to want to play. It's patriarchy. This constant desire to uphold the system is killing our daughters and disabling our son. It isn't even happening silently anymore. women flourish on their own when they are left to figure out what brings them joy instead of perpetually sacrificing for the needs of others. We flourish when we aren't forced to become wives, daughters, mothers, especially to our husbands. Households without a male hierarchy, authority limiting the growth of everybody within it, actually raise the most sensitive, kind, and vulnerable men, while also leaving enough space for daughters to find their own independent voice. Such families in our society are shamed. We are gaslit into thinking that not having a father is a failure, not because there is anything wrong with it, but in fact it slowly erodes the very system put in place to oppress women and repress men. For the people that find films like Mrs. and Thappad problematic but have no qualms with enjoying rockstar Kabir Singh, etc., maybe it's time to question your deep-rooted misogyny. What does love mean to you? More importantly, what does love mean to your parents? What does their marriage look like? Believe me, the answer to 99% of your problems lies within the things you have subtly grown up to watching them. Maybe it's time to wonder if you are also the part of the problem. That always doesn't make you a bad person. It is simply supposed to help you have self-awareness and hold you accountable. Yes, women flourish without men, but not everything is an attack or a threat. It's a reminder to reflect and evolve. If men want to continue having women in their lives, it's time to ask what is so debilitating and limiting about their presence in a household. Acknowledge that this system doesn't work for us, nor does it work for you. So if you liked my video, then please like, share and subscribe, and I would really want to know what's your opinion on it. So please leave your comments below.